John chapter 5, verse 1. After this, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went unto Jerusalem. Now there is at Jerusalem by the sheep market a pool. Somebody say a pool. Which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda. Somebody say Bethesda. Having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of impotent folk. Somebody say impotent folk. Of blind, halt, withered, waiting for the moving of the water. For an angel went down at a certain season into the pool and troubled the water. Whosoever then first, after the troubling of the water, stepped in, was made whole. Somebody say whole. Somebody say nothing missing. Nothing broken. Whosoever stepped into the water first was made whole of whatsoever disease he had. Somebody say whatsoever. That means anything that he had, he was made whole. And a certain man was there which had an infirmity 38 years. Somebody say 38 years. Now y'all know 38 years, that's a long time. I haven't even been on this earth 38 years. That's a long time. He had an infirmity 38 years. When Jesus saw him lie and knew that he had been now a long time, somebody say a long time. In that case, he saith unto him, wilt thou be made whole? The impotent man answered him, Sir, I have no man, when the water is troubled, to put me into the pool. But while I am coming, somebody beats me into the water. And Jesus saith unto him, Rise, take up thy bed, and walk. And immediately, somebody say immediately. Somebody say it the Detroit way, immediately. The man was made whole and took up his bed and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. Now this morning, what I want to minister to you is, it's time to get up. Now I want to just go back and reiterate the fact that we just read a story about a guy who had been going around the same bush, dealing with the same infirmity. Not 1 year, not 2 years, not 5 years, not 15 years, not 20 years, not 25 years, not 35 years, 38 years. And here he was, he's laying by the pool of Bethesda. And I actually looked up that word, Bethesda, this is a chicken nugget for the side. That word means kindness. Kindness. How many of you know it's the goodness of God that leadeth people to repentance? Sometimes when you're going around the same mulberry bush year after year after year after year after year, you can start to think, you know what, this is just my portion in life. You can start to think that, you know what, I've gotten used to this, so it's all good. You might think, you know what, I must have done something to deserve this, so I guess I'm just going to hold on to this, and once I get to Jesus and I give him a straight by and by, then I'll be free of this infirmity. But when Jesus showed up, and he saw that it had been a long time, he did not say to the man, I'm so sorry, you've been dealing with this too long. He said what I'm saying to you this morning, it's time to get up. Some of you have been locked in depression on and off for years and years and years and years and years. It's time for you to get up. Some of you all been stuck in making bad decisions because you were emotionally damaged years ago and you're living in that prison, so you keep picking the wrong type of person. It's time to get up. Some of you all, you've been unemployed for years, since the recession. Some of y'all have been unemployed since before the recession. And when the recession came, you was like, good, now y'all know what it feel like to be me. You've been looking at that same thing over and over again. It's time to get up. Some of y'all, you've been in a job that you know you're not called to be in, but you've been waiting for, an angel to show up with some fairy dust and some miracles to show up to give you some sign from heaven for you to step out and get into what God's called you to do. It's time to get up. Some of you have been dealing with the same diagnosis year after year after year after year after year. I want to say to you this morning, it's time to get up. Some of you, you've been sitting in a situation where you've been sitting in that wheelchair for year after year after year after year after year. Guess what? It's time to get up. I wish somebody would help me up in here this morning. God is coming back for a glorious church without spot or wrinkle. Do you know how much courage it took for Jesus to go to the cross when everybody around him had turned on him, even his own followers? You know how much courage that took? Do you know how much pain he went through? He didn't go through all that to build cowards. And there's so many of us, we've just been cowardly walking around instead of standing up and saying, you know what, it's time to get up. I want to proclaim to you this morning that you are not supposed to stay in that situation. Jesus did not do all he had for you to just stay where you are. He is a God that takes you from glory to glory to glory to glory to glory to glory. So it's time to get up. Some of you, your kids been going crazy for years. You know what? You've been laying in that like my kids is going to hell. It's time to get up. Take dominion and authority over what God has given you and over your house. It's time to get up. And everybody else in the house that's trying to lay out, it's time for you to get up. Some of you been believing God, that married people been believing God for a child. It's time to get up. Some of you, you've been disappointed for 20 years for something that happened that you cannot change. Guess what I have to say to you this morning? It's time to get up. Because God is not the father of the down. What he does, he takes the down, he makes them his children, what changes them to the ups. It's time to get up. It's time to get up. It's time to get up. And there's a couple things that I want to just point out to you, that I'll point out to you as we go forward this morning about what it takes to actually get up. Oftentimes it's very easy to get to a place where we feel like God is a genie in a bottle, which means that I'm just trying to do everything right so I can convince him that when he comes by the pool, that I'm the one he should take care of. Some of our motives are off. Some of you are not here to hear from God. Some of you are here because you're afraid of what will happen if you're not here. Some of y'all are here out of tradition. Some of you are here because you want to catch you a man that goes to church. And I want to warn you, it's not just a man that goes to church. You need a man that carries the church on the inside of him so that he's just not godly when he's in the sanctuary, but that he's still godly when he's in your household. And when he's not with you, he's still godly so he won't be tempted to stray. Yeah, I'm just, I feel a flow up in here. I'm just going to go there. Single people. You know it's some getting up that need to be done up in here concerning the single folks. About how you're living your life. Well, I just have needs. What? Need to be put down? Listen, there is only one you. You own the only pair of your legs that exist. You own the only pair of your arms that exist. You own the only heart of yours that exists. Stop giving that away for free just because somebody else got some needs. If Jesus saw you valuable enough to lay down his life, you should see yourself as valuable enough to lay down the lust and keep yourself the king and the queen and the prince and the princess that he's created you to be. I don't care how many people on the radio is dropping it like it's hot. I don't care what Beyonce is wearing or Rihanna or what they rapping about or any of that kind of stuff. They are not the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, so they should not set the standard that you walk in your kingship about, period. Time to get up. time to get up. Get up out of your sin. Get up out of that foolishness. And recognize that God is a lover. He's not a hater. The reason why he tells you to live a certain way is because you're too good for the drama. Now, don't get me wrong. If you made some mistakes and you got some baby mama drama, you got some daddy mama drama because you got, daddy baby drama, whatever I'm trying to say there. Jesus died to get rid of that yesterday. He's not afraid of you. He can deal with that. But for those of us who think we trying to be cool, let me speak to the young people up in here. You need to recognize, go talk to somebody you think's got it all together, that went away from God. No, the reason why they're walking in the health and fullness right now is because God restored them. And thank God for that. But the higher level is to walk blameless before God, so that I don't even have to go before the throne of grace and try and fix all of that. I can continue to move higher.